Hello YouTube. I'm using a different camera right now, so I'm using my tablet, so my cell phone camera is not working, so I have to use my second best, my tablet, which hopefully this video will come out okay. I know it's been a while since I put out a video, but I thought I'd go ahead and put one out now. Actually, we'll be making a couple videos probably today and uploading, since it's been quite a while since I uploaded videos, and some of it is going to have to do with some other issues. This video here is going to be about Kings Island. Kings Island Amusement Park, located in Mason, Ohio, which is not very far from where I live here in Ohio. And everybody's wondering what they're going to put in new next year. Well, of course, you know, this year they put in Mystic Timbers, which was their next big coaster that they put in. It's not a huge coaster, but it's a fun roller coaster, not too bad. And a lot of people love it. It's more geared to the families. And it was put in on the Rivertown section of the park, which is right where the train and Whitewater Canyon rides run. Looks really nice. It's really nice, nice space where they stuck it. So not bad at all. They did pick a pretty decent space to put it, which I didn't think they'd put it that close, but they did. Proximity of other rides as well, and it's kind of squeezing them in. Next year. Well, wait a minute. First of all, WinterFest opens next month. Today is October 18th, is it? Or 19th? What is it? Today's the 18th. It's going to be 19th tomorrow. WinterFest opens next month, November 24th, and it'll be the first time back at the park since the year of 2007. Years 2007 was the last year we had WinterFest. It's kind of had it back in the 80s, and then it went away, and then it come back and went away. Now it's going to come back. Hopefully it's back to stay, and I hope and pray to see the fair continues to keep in it, because the WinterFest is a really nice event where there's a lot of holiday Christmas shows and sleigh rides and ice skating and lots of food, holiday food varieties and shows as well. And there's going to be a few rides open this year, as well as their newest roller coaster, Mystic Timbers. It will be open, weather permitting, depending on how super cold it gets. But I do know that that new roller coaster can withstand temperatures way down to like 10 degrees. So that's going to be something new, that Kings Island is going to have a roller coaster open during WinterFest. So that'll be a first ever happening as well. There's been a lot of talk about what Kings Island is going to put in next year, and last year I knew it. I guessed it right. If you watch one of my videos about them getting a GCI Woody, I was correct on that. But one thing I wasn't correct on was the log flume. I thought for sure they was going to take that out, but man, they put that roller coaster right up against that log flume, so they kept the log flume, which is nice. I'm glad they did. Honestly, I didn't want to see the log ride go. Even though it's 46 years old, I believe, 47 years old, I'd still hate to see it go, because it's still a family ride, and it's a fun ride. Of course, I can't ride these rides anymore with my health. I can't really ride them. Next year, there is talk about new attractions, which right now in Coney Island part of the park, where they call it Coney Mall, across from the racers, well, just down a little bit, catty corner kind of across from the racers, there was a big, huge building back in 1972 when Kings Island opened. There was two rides that was underneath that building, and they, of course, they enclosed it over the years, but there was two rides in there. One was a Dodgem, the old original Dodgem, before they updated it back in 1986 to where the current location is now. That was built in 1986. The one that was opened in 1972 was the original Dodgem, which of course they made it a hell of a lot bigger where it's at now. And then the other ride that was located inside there alongside with the Dodgem was a Cuddle Up ride. It was called a Cuddle Up, and what it was a, if you remember, a Mangel's Whip ride. It was an old whip ride, and they took it out after a few years operation. And then they converted it into a rock shop and had some rock and roll shop, like t-shirts and paraphernalia and stuff like that in there. And changed it into that. And now it's gone. Okay, they are tearing that building down. There was a game beside that. I think it was some kind of water game where they you shoot the water in a hole and it makes the little thing go up. And, it's a game like 3 players and first one to the top wins. Well, and also the back part of that building, it was using it for the Halloween haunt, which they're not using it this year, obviously, because they walled all that off and they are tearing that big ass building down. It's coming down. And there's a big wall around it now, and also they tore down a food stand. It used to be called Thrill Burger, which was also across from the racers next to where the little candy shop is. There used to be like a little small concession stand there that used to be called Thrill Burger, and they have tore that down as well. This is on the back side of where Tower Gardens is. It abuts up to Tower Gardens, which, if you know of the park, is where they had the Paramount story. When Paramount owned Kings Island, they put their movie memorabilia in that little part area, and people go back there and they can smoke, and that's about what they use it for, is a smoking area. But now they are making that like a candy cane land thing or something back there for WinterFest right now, but the other side is going to be one of 2 things for next year. Also, after this year, this is the last year that Dinosaurs Alive is going to be at Kings Island, so they're going to go extinct after October 29th, and that'll be the last time that you can experience Dinosaurs Alive before the dinosaurs go extinct forever at Kings Island. They will be removed after this season. There are a lot of rumors about different things that will go on back in there. I know that Kings Island is rumored to get another roller coaster next year, but it's going to be a tiny one. It won't be a big one. It's going to be a small one. If they get one, that's what it's going to be. It'd be Sky Warp. I heard that it's a done deal, and it is going to go in at Kings Island. I've heard this through some very good sources that I know that work at Kings Island, that are employees that I don't want to give it away, because then I might get in trouble for spewing some information. I don't know, but it's going to be a done deal, and they're saying it's going to go in. Either it's going to go in where the building's being torn down right now, or it's going to go in back where Dinosaurs Alive entrance is. And also, if you remember, Flight Commander, a ride that a woman fell to her death back in 1992. Well, it's been an empty pad for quite a few years, and the entrance to the ride is still there. The queue line is still there, and we're used to go under the ride and up in the middle and get on it from the inside of the ride. It's that portion is still there, along with the ride operator booth and the exit. Well, I'm thinking they're going to rip all that out, and they may put that new coaster right there called Skywarp. And Skywarp is a 62-foot tall roller coaster that is 360 feet long, and it can accommodate 32 people at one time. Be 48 inches tall to ride, and it's just going to be a small roller coaster that's supposed to be pretty thrilling, and it's going to be something like a Larson Looper, if you know what that is. Larson Looper is like a looping star. If you went to carnivals and stuff, they have that Ring of Fire and things like that. Larson Looper, that's what that is. This here would be something similar to it. It's not the same thing, but it's similar to it. And it's supposedly going to go in at Kings Island, and Kings Island is going to have the second of its kind. This coming year, also Six Flags is putting one in. I think at Discover Kingdom, or I'm not sure about that, but I know Six Flags is getting one for next year, and Kings Island's going to get the second one. So Kings Island's going to get the second one, and also they're going to probably put in the antique cars. There's been a lot of talk about antique cars coming back to Kings Island, and I can really see that happening because there's been a lot of buzz about it, and Kings Island's trying to put it back to what the customers want. Now, the customers got WinterFest, yes. The customers wanted a looping Banshee style roller coaster. They got it. They also asked for a ride like Diamondback. They got it. And Cedar Fair loves Kings Island because Kings Island is one of their better parks, and they're going to invest in a Kings Island and keep Kings Island because why not? Ohio's king of the roller coasters, right? Come to Ohio, we got the most roller coasters on the planet. There is no state out there that's got more roller coasters than the state of Ohio does. So you can come to Ohio and you go up to Cedar Point. Right now they've got 17 roller coasters, and next year they're going to have 18, and that's counting their new one called Still Vengeance, where they're redoing their Mean Street coaster that was there before, and they did a Rocky Mountain transfer of that. So they're going to have 18 roller coasters coming up next summer. Now that's counting a thing called Pipe Scream. I know they don't really credit that as a coaster, but I don't see why not, because it's on a track, it's on a rail, and it's like a coaster going back and forth. Whether regardless, it's still a coaster. You know, I still count it as a coaster. Some people don't. Kings Island's the same way. Kings Island has right now they have 16 roller coasters, and if you get Skywarp, which will be 17 for next year, and that's when we put them up close to Cedar Point. So we're getting close to 40 coasters between just two Cedar Fair parks here in Ohio. And I think that's what they're going to be gunning for. So I'm going to see Kings Island get another roller coaster after this coming year. So I'm betting on this one here is a done deal. And unfortunately, there won't be another coaster installed until the year 2022. And the reason I say that is because Kings Island's 50th anniversary will happen in the year 2022. And it's going to happen April 29th of 1972 is when the park opened. When it first opened, it was April 29th of 1972 in Kings Mills, Ohio. It's now known Mason, Ohio. But I look for them to get the Giga Coaster sometime around that time. I would say it's going to be in year 2022 because they're going to make a big deal for a 50th anniversary. And I think it's going to be a special year for Kings Island. Now, I do think they're going to get some more flat rides put in between now and then. Yes, I see flat rides coming for the next 3 years probably. And I think antique cars will come in maybe possibly this coming year along with this new small coaster. And hopefully in the next couple of years after that, maybe a top scan or another type of a flat ride of that nature. Maybe something like Skyhawk at Cedar Point. That would do really well at Kings Island. So I do see that happening. So we'll just have to keep tuned and see exactly what's going to happen. But I do know that there is not really much talk about next year what they're going to do. Well, I do know they're getting a new food establishment, a smokehouse. They opened one this year in the Soak City in the water park area, and it done extremely well, really, really good. Very big hit. So they're going to put one on the dry side of the park as well, and that's going to happen in Coney Mall. So I'm thinking that maybe the roller coaster will go back by the Windseeker and the Vortex back here where Dinosaur's live entrance was, and I think up there in Coney Mall, I think the smokehouse, the new smokehouse and grill will go in there. So that's my prediction. So we're going to keep an eye out and see what happens next year for Kings Island. But I do believe that that's what's going to happen next year. I do believe they're going to get that new roller coaster. It's going to put their coaster count up to 17, and then Cedar Point, they're going to have theirs up to 18 next year. And the most in the country is Six Flags Magic Mountain in Los Angeles, California, and they have 19 roller coasters right now. So, but I see Cedar Point maintaining as many coasters as possible, and I see them building Kings Island's coaster count up as well, so that way they can make a one-stop destination in Ohio. You can visit 2 parks here and experience all kinds of coasters. And what's great about it is there's different varieties of coasters in both parks, so it's not like the same old. You can come in and actually ride different styles, different types. Anyway, that's it for this Kings Island video. That's for next year, for 2018. That's my remarks on it. Again, I do believe they're going to get that small coaster for next year, and I think the Giga is coming, but it's going to be a little longer. You have to wait a little bit longer. It's going to be, I think, 2022 when that comes in. So it's going to be a good one. And 50 years, man, that's going to be a hell of a celebration and accomplishment for Kings Island. All right, take care. We'll see y'all later. Have a good night. See ya.